most exciting new frontier of the 60s was outer space. President Kennedy had set the goal to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. The Mercury project of the early 60s proved we had the capability to launch men into orbit and return them safely to Earth. The Gemini program was more ambitious, sending 2 men into orbit for longer periods of time to test both technology and man's endurance in space. One of the most dramatic successes of the Gemini program was astronaut Ed White's 20-minute walk in space in June of '65. The pictures we saw on Earth made it all look easy, but it was dangerous. White's pressurized suit had only been tested under simulated conditions. He looked like he was floating, but he was really flying through space at 27,000 miles an hour. If his suit were punctured by the tiniest meteorite, it would mean instant death. By July of '69, the crew of Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Mike Collins, aboard the spaceship Columbia, were approaching the surface of the moon. While Collins remained in the space capsule, Armstrong and Aldrin descended to the surface in a lunar module called the Eagle. At 4:17 p.m. on the 20th of July came the words, "The Eagle has landed." "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," Armstrong said as he became the first man to set foot on the surface of the moon. More than 500 million people on the planet Earth watched on television as the American flag was planted on the moon. We had achieved what seemed almost impossible. From the dawn of time, man had dreamed of going to the moon. Now we had done it, and we could not contain our excitement. After nearly 24 hours on the moon's surface, the lunar module lifted off to dock with the orbiting spaceship Columbia, leaving behind a plaque that read, "Here, man from planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969. We came in peace for all mankind." During the 60s, many of us criticized our technology, saying we were prisoners of our own inventions. But the space program gave us a new perspective. In less than half a century since man had first learned to fly, our technology had carried us beyond the blue horizon, into outer space, to the moon and back. Our achievements were truly impressive. And for the first time, many people began to see the Earth as a kind of spaceship of its own.